If you watched part 1, you know how the Great War began, the assassination, the alliances, the rapid mobilization. But what happened next? How did a regional conflict become the bloodiest war the world had ever seen? Today we're diving into the brutal reality of World War I in the trenches, the technology, and the turning points that changed everything. And if you're enjoying this series, make sure to hit that subscribe button. By late 1914, the war had settled into something no one expected, a deadly stalemate. The Western Front stretched 400 miles from the North Sea to Switzerland, marked by an intricate system of trenches that would barely move for the next 4 years. Life in the trenches was absolutely horrific. Soldiers lived in muddy, rat-infested holes, constantly under threat of sniper fire, artillery, and poison gas. The area between opposing trenches, no man's land, became a wasteland of barbed wire, shell craters, and death. The Battle of Verdun in 1916 perfectly shows the futility of trench warfare. For 10 months, French and German forces threw everything they had at each other. The result? 700,000 casualties and the front line moved just a few miles. The Battle of the Somme was even worse. On the first day alone, the British suffered 60,000 casualties, the bloodiest day in their military history. All for gains measured in yards, not miles. New weapons of war. World War I was the first truly industrial war, and the weapons reflected that. Machine guns could fire 600 rounds per minute, turning infantry charges into suicide missions. Then came poison gas, chlorine, phosgene, and mustard gas. The Germans first used it at Ypres in 1915, creating panic and horror. Soon both sides were using chemical weapons, leading to the haunting image of soldiers in gas masks that defines World War I. The British introduced tanks in 1916, hoping to break the deadlock. These metal monsters could cross trenches and withstand machine gun fire, but early models were slow, unreliable, and often broke down. In the sky, aircraft evolved from reconnaissance tools to fighters. Pilots like the Red Baron became legends, but aerial combat was incredibly dangerous. The average life expectancy of a fighter pilot was just 3 weeks. The war goes global. While Europe tore itself apart, the war spread worldwide. In the Middle East, T.E. Lawrence of Arabia helped organize Arab revolts against the Ottoman Empire. The disastrous Gallipoli campaign saw Allied forces, including many Anzacs, attempt to knock the Ottomans out of the war. Instead, they faced 8 months of brutal fighting that ended in evacuation and 250,000 casualties. In Africa, colonial troops fought campaigns across the continent. In East Africa, German commander Paul von Lettow-Vorbeck led a brilliant guerrilla campaign that tied down Allied forces until the war's end. At sea, German U-boats wreaked havoc on Allied shipping. The sinking of the Lusitania in 1915, killing over 1,000 civilians including 128 Americans, began turning American opinion against Germany. America enters the war. For 3 years, America stayed neutral, but several events pulled them toward war. The Zimmermann telegram was the final straw. Germany secretly proposed a military alliance with Mexico against the U.S. When America declared war in April 1917, they brought fresh troops and resources that would prove decisive. The American Expeditionary Force, led by General Pershing, began arriving in France just as the war's character was changing once again. Meanwhile, revolution erupted in Russia. The Tsar was overthrown, and by late 1917, the Bolsheviks had seized power. Lenin immediately began negotiating peace with Germany, freeing up German troops for one final offensive in the West. The end approaches. In March 1918, Germany launched their spring offensive, a massive gamble to win before American reinforcements arrived in full strength. Initially successful, German forces pushed within 40 miles of Paris. But the offensive exhausted German reserves. When the Allies counterattacked in August 1918, the German army began to collapse. The 100 Days Offensive pushed German forces back across Belgium and into Germany itself. Back home, Germany was starving. The British naval blockade had created severe food shortages, and civilian morale was cracking. Revolution broke out in German cities, and the Kaiser's government began to crumble. The armistice. On November 11, 1918, at 11 a.m., the guns finally fell silent. The armistice wasn't a surrender, but it was clear Germany had lost. In a railway car in the French countryside, German representatives signed the agreement that ended 4 years of unprecedented slaughter. Across the Allied nations, people celebrated in the streets. But the joy was mixed with exhaustion and grief. An entire generation had been lost or traumatized. The numbers are staggering: over 17 million dead, 20 million wounded. Entire regions of France and Belgium lay in ruins. The world would never be the same. Conclusion: World War I didn't just end, it created the modern world. Empires collapsed, new nations emerged, and the seeds of future conflicts were planted. The Treaty of Versailles, the Russian Revolution, the decline of European dominance, all consequences of the Great War. But that's a story for another video. What did you think of this look at World War I? Which aspect surprised you most? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if it helped you understand this crucial period in history, subscribe for more content like this, and click the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.